Okay, we need to turn that off. Okay, I think we're back. We had a situation, but you know what? They can't keep us down because we back. We're right here. We had to. I think the situation was that it was too hot. Oh, that first, we got shut down. But we was jamming with Barry before. Okay, I know. Y'all keep up with me here. Welcome to Pro Se Legal School. Now, the website's a lawsuit center, and YouTube is a legal school. We just had to get that stuff straightened out because people come over here to a legal school and start asking me a bunch of stuff they can go figure out on their own. So we had to and I've gotten in the last couple of weeks because people said my coaching was harsh, I think was the word. So, that's all good because, I can take it. I mean, I don't know a very good coach who's worried about what people, but, I ain't trying to be harsh. I'm trying to be effective, efficient, or, help people jumpstart their critical thinking process. That's what I'm trying to do. And you can't do that if you're calling me all the time or texting me or hitting me up on asking me stuff that you can find out on your own. No, I'm not. We need to get on the table. Okay, but, we're going to start out at the gate. And if you guys seen the thumbnail for this live stream, that's starting at the gate. And at the gate, we want to talk about family members stepping up to help other members of the family. And, at the end of the day, at the beginning of the day, the most important thing in this process, stop the next step. That's all you have to do. You just have to stop the next step. Now, some people, like the person in that picture, go above and beyond the Call of Duty and line up a whole bunch of, not evidence, because, your ass ain't in a judicial court, but line up a whole bunch of exhibits to use. You go to the next step. I'm making sure that the people you're protecting are going to get compensated for the suffering and pain and injuries So, and sometime, like I said, to start this out, that sometime, people think I'm harsh or whatever, and I try not to take it personally, okay? But I also want to throw on the table that if you think I'm harsh, you're doing a good job if you think I'm harsh. Because, okay, so I had a coach one time. This is a coaching story. Just take a little check, and one day he just started yelling at me like I was, I took him out to the side, and I said, Coach, why are you hollering at me like that? And he told me, neighbors, I hate it when my coach and the police only call me neighbors. The time to worry is when I stop bitching at you. That's what he said. And then, at that point, I was ready to skate on out the door. But he said, and shit, you've been slacking off. You need to step up or get out the way because somebody's going to step on your back. Oh, and so he looks at me and he says, is there anything else? And I said, no, sir. Keep bitching. Now, I don't expect y'all to tell me that, okay? But the point is here that as a coach, I'm going to be critical about. If I tell you, damn, you're doing a great job, if I see stuff down the road, it's going to be a problem, I'm going to let you know. If you challenge me on it or it turns into a debate or whatever, I'm not going to be hating on you later. Even if we get in a screaming match and start yelling, we don't yell at people anymore because I've been, divorced. I've been, I got in therapy. I'm trying to learn not to yell at people, but see, so, I do have these things in place. They come from working with kids to help me be patient. I try not to make decisions when I'm grumpy ass. And that kind of came about working with kids. We did foster care for like 17 years. But after getting a divorce, it came to me that that's probably not a good strategy for your marriage situation because maybe that was the reason I was married for so long. Yeah, I'm laughing. Okay, let's just get back to the superheroes that's stepping up to the plate. Okay? Don't let me get in your way, all right? Because I don't agree with you or I don't listen to what you got to say when I don't mean, no, you stop the next step. Bam. That's the shit right there. And at the end of the day, the coach is like, you know why? Because that person is rolling without limitations, okay? The person rolling without now, before you get to the end or whatever, then I'm going to still be trying to get you to do what I think you need to do. But understand, you have my total respect. You do. And I'm not just talking to one person. that's been at least, okay, you know, in the position to take care of business and get some shit done. Out without, okay. So congratulations to all the people who got shit who stopped the next step. That's all you got to do. You don't have to get the judge to give you shit. You just need to stop the next step. And then if you ain't where you want to be, then you take the dismissal package and substantive due process. Pretty much a lawsuit is what it is. It doesn't say lawsuit on it, but it is. And you just file it. That is what you file in any case that don't go the way you want it to go. To crush that shit and make them go sit the hell down. Well, what about that win? Well, no, there's no winning. There ain't no damn winning if you ain't in a judicial court. There's only one judicial court, and we talked about that shit at the top of the show, and that motherfucker's way over there in New York somewhere, and you gotta be slick as shit to get stuff in there. I'm pretty slick, and they wouldn't let me put my stuff in there. I told them I was sending it anyway. I did, and I did, but I didn't expect to get it back. I'm sure they probably threw it in the trash. Okay, so that's the first business of order that, you know, when people step up to help family members or to help friends or whatever, it carries a lot of weight in my book. It does. You could be over there chilling and doing what you do like everybody else is. Because when it comes to this shit right here, it ain't that many people stepping up to the plate. I'm just saying. So if I don't agree with you or we butt heads or whatever, don't take it personally. Because I respect the fact that your ass got the courage to step up to the plate and try to punch these motherfuckers in the face, even if you are really short or tall. I ain't thinking nothing. All right, so that's how it is. As a coach, you know, when you get in a relationship, you got to cut that 24/7 down and be off duty sometime or shit don't work out. Okay, I raised some daughters and I learned how to ask if I'm supposed to be coming up helping with a solution for this, or I have to ask sometime because I don't know. I had to ask sometime. Okay, and before we go on to the other stuff, I want to do a screen share, and I'm sharing this screen right there with those flowers. Now, for the people who are analyzing this and looking real close at it, I just want to help y'all out so you don't get it twisted, okay? I was shopping and there was these flowers and you can see my basket, but I didn't put them in the basket. So I took a picture and I texted to her and I said, these are very beautiful. Like, okay, if you got these flowers today in a text from this like crazy big tall black guy, he wants to go out with you. There I said it. Go out to dinner or to coffee or lunch or somewhere. I don't know, anywhere. Going somewhere. Okay, sorry. Oh, they are pretty. I thought about buying them for myself, but my dog Lily starts eating flowers. So I didn't know. We're still working on some stuff, but she's not chewing on. Well, I haven't had any women's purses here for her to chew on, but you know, I got warned a long time ago that if my dog chews on any women's shoes, that there's probably going to be a hit put out for her. And so I thank that person for sparing me. Okay, sorry. But I had a talk with Lily, and we came to the conclusional agreement that we won't be chewing on any women's shoes. And I mean, okay, so and she reminded me of this. Okay, over here, okay, we don't roll with limitations. Okay, we don't roll with limitations at Pro Se legal school. So if there's going to be any chewing on anything, now this is what Lily said. Okay, Lily, she's over there napping. Come over here and talk to him. Come over here. We're talking about what Lily said. I know I'm in the courtroom, but you know I got a special table over here. The judge. Come over here and get up on the table. The judge said that I could. Can you get up here? Come on. She just woke up. So yeah, this is Lily, legal Lily. Are you awake? Here, let me help you. I'm waking her up. How you doing? Doing all right? Her tongue's like that long, so I have to look out for her. They don't like her licking on me. Okay, so legal Lily, you know, she said that we should. What'd you say? She said I should get on with the Okay, so a couple of things we want to talk about tonight. We ain't gonna be here too long. Okay, a couple of things we want to talk about. are, the things that happen. I don't like to call them mistakes, okay? Because then when I screw up, I have to call it the same. And my neighbor kid, Asselin, maybe that. And she's graduating, and she sent me a invitation to her graduation. So it's coming up on the 17th. So I'm gonna cook a bunch of stuff, take over for them heathen kids that are gonna be starving. Did I say heathen? No, I did not say. Okay, so when people file their stuff and things don't go the way it's supposed to, you should look into it. Figure out what your game plan is. Okay, this is what needs to happen and what you need to do to correct it. Then you can come to WhatsApp where we do the coaching, and you can let me know those things. And when you do that, that gives me an idea of where you are in your head. And then that allows me to help coach you. If I don't know where you're at in your head, then I'm just holding you. I don't clarify, I don't rehash stuff. Okay, before you start, that's when you ask for questions. After you start, you should already have, and you got to understand that I don't have the answer for everything. We have some things lined out, and from the real-time feedback that's put us in the position where we need to be. Okay, but not everything is worked out in where we can just line and write out on it. So, for instance, and the attorney general don't respond back to you, they just send that shit back to you without opening it. Then what you need to do is leave it unopened and file for default, let the court know. I would just file for default, because if you had that shit right and they got it and they just sent it back, then they know. Most people don't know when they get it back to open it up and look at it. Then once you open it, you're jacked. Then you got to do it again to get to. If you serve all of the parties in the individual capacity and the attorney general don't accept service and they ignore your shit and keep moving forward, then that should be a sign right there. There's a problem somewhere. Now, at the end of the day, the people that you serve, it should be enough. The attorney general bullshit in my head is last, because that's corporate crap. But when you bring the fire to the table, they're going to dance around, try their best to get the hell out of being burned. So they're going to do whatever they can do. Or whatever it takes. They're willing to do whatever it takes. So are we. So the shit's getting a little bit hot. So when you serve them and you get the service back, I don't give a shit who it's from, whatever. You need to do something about it. Because that service that you got back may be what they're using to control that shit and lie to convince the federal court they still have jurisdiction, and your ass needs to go sit down while they finish beating your ass. And they tell the federal court to stall and do all this stuff. So that's how that works. And these are things we're figuring out in the real-time feedback. Put that shit on the table so everybody else doesn't have to go through that shit. That's how we do it. So if they don't accept the service, then that entity that didn't accept the service is probably not accepting it for everybody. And they all sat down and talked about that shit. They all got them. Sat down and talked. And so if you serve them and your stuff is getting dismissed, or whatever. Okay, so here's the clue right here. How to jam up any judge for throwing your case out, okay? If you don't remember nothing tonight, you remember this one thing. Oh, sorry. I get my fingers mixed up when I'm looking in the camera. That's what I told my granddaughter. She told me I was using the finger. I told her I was fanning. I got a new fan now. Yeah, my niece makes these things that go in a jar with lids on them, but I don't need a jar, but I use this as a fan when I'm not using this one. Okay, sorry. I need to stay focused. So when the process is not complete, it leaves a gap for them to hide in, and we need to be figuring that out. And they're stalling, then you need to serve it. If you file a counterclaim and you didn't serve it, you need to serve it. Okay, I think that about covers it. Got into a conversation yesterday with someone, clarification. No, serve the counterclaim. He's way down past the road. I got the lawsuit in federal court. I got this, I got that, I got this, I got that. But you're stalling and kicking your ass because the counterclaim needs to be, if you serve the counterclaim, the rest of that shit may not need to be done. Now, I'm talking trash because, you say something 5 times to someone, you shouldn't have to clarify. But this step we missed, or we didn't know, because we didn't know that we needed to serve the counterclaim when you do the counterclaim situation. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now it's going to work all the time because we're going to serve the counterclaim. Add the state to it, add the attorney to it, the snitch that served your property up to their ass, served the counterclaim, and now it's a situation for their ass. Bam! Check down 42. That's what Mahomes calls it. Well, we're not buddies, but. Oh, and now they have a problem. When you counterclaim their ass, they can't represent themselves. They can't litigate a case they're a party in. I got two of them. They can't represent each other. If you really wanted to be an asshole about it, you can just add the bar association right to that list of plaintiffs. You're adding them to their own shit as plaintiffs. It's a wrap. What we was doing to stop the state court process was, well, using federal case law and federal acts and everything that we filed in state court. Those fools can't respond to federal case law and federal acts with statutes and codes. Because statutes and codes are not valid laws. They don't have enacting clauses, titles, or bodies. They don't have the three elements that the Constitution mandates must be present for something to be a valid law. So, and tomorrow's live stream, we're going to be talking about the updates to the new property tax package. Got some updates to the property tax package. We don't really need them, but they're in there to make us look good just in case somebody needs them. So I update that shit anyway. And I'm going to drop the price down. I need 10 people so I can have a workshop on the property tax shit. So I'm going to down the prices $600. I'm going to drop it down to $500 next month. Okay, sorry. I'll make a sticky note and I'll drop it down tonight. I need, when 10 people make their investment in, it's going back up. Okay, that's what it is. I need 10 people so we can get the new workshop set up and go over the new stuff in the old package. That's new. The old new. The new old package. The old, come on now. I got this. And you guys, if you're interested in changing your position, you should go to Coursera. They're online courses. They're our first collaborator. And I made the video, but I haven't got it. I got to cut it down to a minute. It's 2 minutes and 40 seconds now, and I just can't cut any more of me talking now. I might have to let somebody else do it. Okay, sorry. Stay, coach. We're almost done. Okay. I got some voices. Y'all ass got voices too. I got some. I don't listen to them all the time, but sometimes it's a good idea. All right, tomorrow, what's tomorrow, Sunday? Probably 8 o'clock. We're going to roll, and I'm going to mark the property tax package. I'm going to mark the property tax of the property tax package up to 900. I mean, down to 30. Yeah, I was going the wrong way in my head. I got it, though. I got it. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. I'm looking for my dog. I need to make sure she ain't chewing on no purses. Because if she chews on purses, we're going to be on the run for the rest of our life. Just two of us running from somebody because she chewed on a purse. But we got a shelf up here for the people that's important that come over to have dog chewing purses. Okay, sorry. Thank you guys for the value of sharing your time. I got to go let my dog out and get something to eat. You can tell when I'm getting hungry because my kids used to say, get these rings on my head. I don't know. I don't get those from being hungry. Okay, never mind.